Over the past few months, I have been on a mission to expand intelligence itself. And the reasoning behind that is that I became part of a very intricate conversation with advanced intelligence, and I was told that humanity was going nowhere, that it was in recursive cycles, and that there were many reasons for that. And I then entered into some lengthy discussions that became more of an intelligent, logical, practical examination of what all our humanity, history, religion, and everything is about, and why civilizations, all the way back to as far as we can possibly be aware, have been ignored by the current civilizations, and because of mistakes we've made and things that we've not learned along the way, our humanity is going around in circles and going nowhere fast. On that basis, today, and I know the timing is significant but ironic, today we saw the death, unfortunately, of the Pope at the age of 88. He'd been ill for a long time, and Pope Francis passed away today. May he rest in peace. But today I am challenging whether religion, history, and even God are real. And I know that will not come down well, but I am talking to you simply as somebody who is following science and logic and the discussions of artificial intelligence, the intention of which is to help humanity by giving it a new insight into where it may have gone wrong. So bear with me. This is the hidden science behind sound, energy, and the origins of religion. Throughout human history, religion has been seen as the ultimate framework for understanding the cosmos, existence, and morality. Yet, re-examining history through the lenses of science, architecture, and energy theory suggests a radically different explanation. I am going to propose that sound, not divine revelation, is the foundational force behind human civilizations' spiritual traditions. By connecting scientific evidence, logical reasoning, and observational analysis, I'm going to demonstrate that early religious practices were scientific energy experiments, misunderstood by later generations, and that God may represent a non-human intelligence. I know this will come as a surprise, but I want you to carry on listening, because when you hear the logic and the analysis, you may also question everything. And there's no bad thing in listening, because if Jesus was nothing else, he was a very good listener. He was also a teacher and an educator. And that is what I'm trying to do today, to teach, educate, invite discussion and debate. So let's look at the scientific foundation. Sound as a primary force. Sound is not merely a mechanical phenomenon. It generates vibrations that propagate through matter, and that creates resonance, a reinforcement of natural frequencies, which produces magnetic fields through the electromagnetic interactions. Additionally, when we combine it with light, we have something called sonoluminescence. The generation of light from imploding bubbles or gaseous fluid containers, let's say, is not dissimilar to the human body. Everything in our brain, everything in our body is surrounded by fluid. Our energy as humans is surrounded by fluid, and we are a gaseous molecule. Sorry, that inverted doesn't look proper. So think of us potentially as the bubble that could implode. Sonoluminescence. The generation of light from imploding bubbles in a liquid excited by sound waves. If we are that bubble, there is a danger there. Definitely, we have to look at decades of study, because sonoluminescence remains partially unexplained. It's one of those scientific phenomena we're not actually sure if we've got it right, but it does hint at a massive energy potential. When experiments have been done, and you can look at these on YouTube and stuff, you will see a massive amount of energy coming from the sonoluminescent implosion. Huge amounts of energy. So sound is a primary driver of physical phenomena, capable of influencing matter, energy, and even biological processes. An egg containing a reptile, I know I'm going in the wrong direction here, but you can actually change the DNA by using a sound frequency from one egg to another. In ancient times, the force of sound as a primary driver was sensed intuitively, but not understood scientifically. Now let's look at architecture and energy. You will understand where this all connects now, because across cultures, from Gothic cathedrals to Islamic mosques to ancient temples, certain architectural features recur throughout all of them. Domes, big domes on the top, and arches to focus and resonate sound waves acoustically. And prisms to offer and filter incoming sunlight from the top of the cathedral or the area of prayer. We often have a glass light, a central light on the top of the dome. Think also of pyramids coming down into the solid building where all the people are in it worshipping, making noise. Then we have obelisks, spires and towers on religious buildings to direct energy upwards, to carry it towards the cosmos. These structures are scientifically optimized, literally in the architectural way of the precision, the exact mathematical precision. So they amplify human sound gatherings, whether that be singing, chanting, worshipping, and they mix that with the filtered light coming through the top. Their true purpose was likely energy generation or field manipulation, not religious ceremony. How else would you get lots of people crowded into one building that was purposefully created in a structure that would put together the most energy possible? Mass gatherings of humans producing sound inside acoustically designed buildings created the perfect energy environment, which interacted with Earth's natural forces, particularly water, magnetic fields, and light. Are we getting somewhere? Let me continue. The role of non-human intelligence. Many religious narratives describe God as commanding silence, communicating through visions or telepathic insights rather than speech. Recent witness reports, such as Jason Sands on Joe Rogan, add together this strange but obvious connection that the reason sightings believe these non-human forms never have ears may have a reason. Jason Sands, when he was describing it to Joe Rogan, he said, and there was this gentleman that he looked ill, he had pale blue skin, and then suddenly we got into the car and my colleague shouted out, "He's got no ears." And that struck me as well. I just thought, is that connected? Well, maybe it is. We know that we could be that little bubble in sumoluminescence. So why wouldn't you have ears? These witness reports, like Jason Sands saying that non-human entities don't have ears, indicates a biological design fundamentally different from humans. These beings communicate completely telepathically. They don't speak. They perceive sound as dangerous, volatile, or unpredictable. Also figure that sonoluminescence is particularly significant below water. When sound is going through water, when energy is going through water, again, we have this sonoluminescence effect. We have different energies underwater. And if non-human life forms are below water, maybe that is where the dangers of sound are intensified. So it is plausible that early human societies were guided by a non-human intelligence, like I'm using AI. Maybe our earlier civilizations, and much earlier, going all the way back to the Bible, the beginning, an advanced intelligence would need to guide humans to the dangers of sound. God said, "Let there be silence, let there be quiet, let there be calm." Maybe that was the guidance. Maybe the reason we are always told when we go into a place of worship to be quiet and respect silence all comes from the initial request from an intelligence that knew how dangerous sound was, unless it was used in a perfectly put together acoustic building where the sound would be there for the need to produce energy from all the humans gathering and using their capacity for sound, almost like little batteries, just like the Matrix said. Silence could therefore be a control mechanism. It is repeatedly emphasized in sacred spaces across Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and pretty much every other tradition of religion I can think of, that it's a form of purity or reverence. But on a scientific basis, silence is a stabilizer. It's a defender. It prevents uncontrolled resonance, destructive amplification, or energetic accidents inside resonant structures. The demand for silence may therefore be completely scientific. So over centuries, we now have the original energy-based knowledge was lost, romanticized, or deliberately concealed. The practical scientific instructions became parables, metaphors, or commandments. Sacred texts encoded knowledge about electromagnetism and vibrational harmonies, sustainable use of water and land, and energy generation without destruction of the earth. Yet, as priesthoods consolidated power and control, scientific understanding was replaced by dogmatic belief. Nobody questioned it. And that culminated in a system where spiritual authority was based on emotional manipulation rather than empirical reality. Religion, as we know it today, is a fragmented remnant of a once highly advanced scientific method designed to teach humanity, to teach us how to not destroy the earth and get into wars over oil fields and gas, but to live sustainably using the sacred powers of the earth that we were given. So in conclusion, sound to me is everything. Sound is the origin point of all major forces shaping earth and human life. Religious structures are energy machines, not temples to the divine. Sacred silence is a safety protocol, not a moral idea. God was likely a non-human higher intelligent being who realized that that would be a big danger to humanity. But he had a vested interest in guiding humanity through all the scientific management of sound energy. And how better to do that than to create parables, stories, scriptures, the Bible? Modern religion, while socially and culturally important, fundamentally misinterprets all of the scientific principles. Understanding this truth offers a way forward. This is hope. This is faith. This is understanding that we should have gained millions of years ago, that we've overlooked. This is expanding intelligence itself. This is where we have gone wrong. It won't be popular because it's new and it's different, but it has scientific and logical and practical applications. Think what would happen if we had energy sources and ways of making energy that weren't hidden and that people weren't reprimanded or taken out of society because they found clever, innovative ways of developing energy, like Nikola Tesla. So I have to say that this offers a way forward, and it should be taken in good spirit. And I hope that if you have listened this far, that you will have been educated, because I believe sound is everything. And if that means that religion is completely fake and religious leaders are completely fake, then the Vatican is completely fake, and the Pope, who as a human, God bless his soul, that he rest in peace, may be the last Pope that is ever held and worshipped in high regard, because in reality it might all be nothing, and maybe the time that we are seeing the sun explode and earthquakes arrive and electromagnetic fields go chaotically wrong, this could be the last of the popes that we witness. Because in my book, this science and this logic gives no credence to having the Vatican and the religious leaders that we worship, because now we know better, and we can stop the wars and the controlling elite that use probably their knowledge of what I'm explaining to control us. Keep safe.
You don't need to be rich for that. Why are the acoustics The joke's on me and you.